Andrew Savitz was in ill health. His diabetes and cardiovascular disease was severe, and Penelope McGee knew it. Despite Mr. Savitz's condition, Ms. McGee went over to his house on the night of January 28, 2020. She was yelling and screaming, hitting and shoving him. His heart couldn't handle the stress of the altercation, and he collapsed and passed away. After you hear all of this evidence, Your Honor, I am confident that you will find Penelope McGee guilty as charged.
Penelope, also known as Penny McGee, has been charged with manslaughter for the death of her husband. And you heard it right there from the prosecutor for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that she basically gave him a heart attack. He had this bad condition. She goes over there, yelling, screaming, and pushing him, and caused his heart attack. And they want to put her away for a couple decades. And that's what she could end up doing, time, for this manslaughter if she's found guilty. And there she is in court today. And apparently, it looks like the defense may not put on a case. The prosecution rested today, and folks in the courtroom believe that when they come back tomorrow, there won't be any defense case. We'll get right to closings. Now, this is not a jury trial. It's a bench trial. The judge will be making the decision. The judge, you know her. You recognize her. It's Judge Cannoni, the judge from the Karen Reed trial, is the one who will make the decision here. So, did they or did they not prove this case? Which, again, we're seeing a lot of cases here on Court TV with situations I haven't really seen before. But let's take a look at the prosecution's case to see if they proved manslaughter.
What is this text thread about?
This text thread starts fairly ominously with Andy saying something should happen to me. Please remember that I have a $2 million life insurance policy.
And as you were connected to 911, what happened?
I went down the stairs and I told them that there was a domestic dispute happening. And by the time I came down the stairs, Penelope and my dad were in the front hallway.
And how close is that in relation to the stairs?
It's right there.
And what did you see them doing in the front hallway?
Screaming, yelling, and my dad's back was pushed against the closet. My dad was asking my mom to leave.
And what was your mom doing?
Yelling at him. And during that time, they kept moving towards the door. He was trying to tell her to leave, and she pushing back towards him.
And when you say pushing back towards him, what do you mean? What was she doing?
Shoving him.
And where was she shoving him?
His chest.
And what was she shoving him with?
Her hands.
And how many times did you see her shoving him?
Multiple, but I don't remember the exact number.
And besides shoving, did her hands touch him in any other way?
Yeah, his face.
And how did his hands touch her face? What was she doing?
She slapped him.
He had an ecchymosis, or a bruise, surrounding his left eye. He also had lacerations of the oral mucosa, which means just the inside of his lip. He had an abrasion on his back, and he had abrasions on his right arm and left leg.
The patient was unresponsive. Per records, we had told that his heart had stopped working a few minutes prior to arrival and had been undergoing CPR at the time. But when he presented to the emergency department, he was in cardiac arrest, and so his heart wasn't working, and he was obtunded.
For cases such as this one, is that for a person who is in kind of a heightened emotional situation, whether that's an argument or an altercation or something similar, if they are witnessed to collapse or have an arrhythmia, either during that event or immediately after, you cannot ignore that temporality, that timeline.
Were you able to form an opinion as to the manner of death?
Yes, I did.
And what was that opinion?
Homicide. If it could be proven that he was angry independently by himself, then this would not be a homicide. However, there was another person involved. Therefore, the medical definition is death at the hands of another, homicide.
All right. This is an interesting one. Rick King, Ann Bremner, Bob Bianchi with me. Ann, did they prove manslaughter?
I don't think so. I mean, he had atherosclerotic disease. He had, all kinds of issues. And so could he have been knocked over with a feather? I mean, I don't even know why the defense isn't putting on some experts. We don't know what the experts said in this case. But it's kind of like looking at why the Titanic went down. I mean, they didn't have binoculars in the crow's nest. They were trying to set a speed record. They went sideways on the iceberg, and they didn't have the air or the compartments to keep water out, had spaces in the top. I mean, all those kinds of things. What caused it? I mean, so she gets in a fight with him. I mean, I don't know how they prove proximate cause in this case. I really don't. I would try this to a jury and not a judge, frankly. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, I just look at this case and I'm like, is that all you've got? I mean, so she gave him a heart attack? I mean, is that your...
Yeah, that's the case.
Yes, she gave him a heart attack.
That's the case.
Yeah, but did she give him a heart attack? I mean, he had a pre-existing condition, and if her restraint, it's a lot of like a lot of the police cases I've had, and Rick's had, you've got restraint, might have an overdose, you might have a bad heart, you might have, heart disease, etc. And it might take very little for someone to die, especially when they're exerted.
Rick, under this theory, you could be cross-examining a witness on the witness stand who has all those same conditions, and you're getting under his skin, elevated, that witness dies. Rick, you've committed homicide.
Right. I think the state's theory is actually very terrible, and I'm hopeful that, and I agree with Ann. I'm hopeful that they have some sort of medical examiner expert that they're going to call in their defense, just to say, hey, listen, when you look at the book from the National Association of Medical Examiners, it says specifically that verbal argument shouldn't be the basis of a determination of a homicide. It says it right from the book. So I'm hopeful that, and the defense lawyer in this case did a great job of pointing those things out. And the one underlying fact is, when you're trying with your judge, the theory is know thy judge. I'm hopeful that they know the judge, and they know.
Well, we know the
judge,
Judge Cannoni from the Karen Reed trial. We watched her and listened to her for like 3.5 months last year. There she is.
That's the bottom line, though. You got to know that she is on top of this and able to hear your defense.
Bob, what do you think of this one?
It's lunacy, and it actually agitates me, Vinny, because it's prosecutions like this that cause a problem for us in society. Now, here's what I'm saying with this. Manslaughter isn't just that there was proximate cause and that there was negligence. Under the criminal statute and under the law of this state, the actions have to be such in order to be a manslaughter that their actions or inactions practically certain would cause the result of death. We cannot continue to criminalize every single thing that happens that's unfortunate and otherwise is a good civil case, and then criminalize it. And that's what's happening here. The reason the defense is going bench trial is as easy as apple pie to me. They know this judge knows the law, and they know that there's no way that a medical examiner's opinion, I have to laugh. Angry by themselves is one thing, but if you get them upset, it becomes a homicide. Well, every one of us could be locked up to the point you were just raising. If you say something that irritates somebody and they die, this guy had a significant health problem. He died as a result of having diabetes, an atherosclerotic problem. He had high blood pressure. He had a cardiac dysrhythmia. There's no way that this defendant would have thought that by arguing with him, and by the way, they don't even describe how long was he hit? How hard was he hit? Was the body moving or not moving? It wasn't the physicality, it was the emotional state. When we start getting into this area, Vinny, we're in treacherous territory.
We are, and people are already skeptical of prosecutors up there because of the Karen Reed case.